Got Talent. Over 40 versions across the world, humongous cash prizes of up to $1 million and probably thousands of contestants every year. At this point, it's very hard to stand out. Unless you're a beatboxer. We've had our fair share of beatboxers competing on that show, but overall it's a stretch to say that there is even one competing every season of any spin-off of the franchise. So it's safe to say that beatboxers are still relatively rare on these casting shows. But today we will be talking about some of them, who they are, their stories, and where they're at now. Enjoy! In 2017, Beniamin Dumbrăvan appeared on season 7 of Romania's Got Talent. Please correct me if I'm wrong pronouncing that name. The at that time just 14-year-old beatboxer came in pretty confidently with his audition, but as he started performing, it more so looked like the judges and basically also almost everyone in the audience were vaguely confused by what was going on in front of their very eyes. His hand movements to control the crowd were also somewhat met with mockery by the judges. Then he flipped it around, switched up to a build-up and went in for like a dubsteppy kind of drop. From there it basically only went uphill for him. Eventually the judges seemed to be genuinely interested and enjoyed what he was selling on the stage. Overall it was just an assortment of different genres beatboxed in a very normie friendly manner, which in combination with his kind of good stage presence really worked out for him. After finishing his act, he was met with a standing ovation, which was followed by the best thing that could ever possibly happen to you in an audition: the golden buzzer. This immediately catapulted him into the semifinals, where he also won over the crowd as well as the viewers at home, ultimately advancing to the final at only 14 years old. This is sadly the part where the story kind of sizzles out because he only came in 9th out of like 11 people. But being the first to perform in the final, but he still had an amazing showing and an amazing run at the show. What followed after was nothing. I could not find a single significant performance after Got Talent. But what if I just lied to you? What if this kid is this looper that competed at the World Championships? Right, this is BENBEAT from Romania, who has made himself a name in the loop station community as of lately, establishing himself as a competitive looper and content creator on YouTube. For those interested, I'm gonna leave a link to his channel down in the description because he's doing a lot of great content, tutorials, covers, this and that, so make sure to check it out. The guy is also very chill and short in real life too. He has been picking up the loops since 2020 now, I think, if I'm correct with that information, with his first looping video being uploaded in August that same year. I really hope he continues to do great stuff and succeed at what he's doing because he's a humble guy and he really deserves it. So being a beatboxer on Got Talent is quite special, we have already figured that out, but imagine being on the first season. This is what happened to Robert Wolf, aged 18 at the time. He competed on the first ever season of Germany's Got Talent in 2007 called Das Supertalent. There isn't any info at how he did throughout the show, as the Wikipedia doesn't spit out anything except the finalists and the results and the voting numbers. There also unfortunately isn't any footage of the finale, yet alone of the other rounds of the competition, but I can tell you that he did pretty good. He might did not win the show, but he was able to snag himself a solid 3rd place, earning 8% of the total votes. ROBEAT, also known as ROBEAT, continued to actively seek out TV spotlight, as he has been a familiar face for years across German TV after his Got Talent run. He also built himself a pretty solid social media presence, with him uploading stuff for over 10 years now. On top of that, he is one of the most impactful and prolific faces of beatboxing in Germany, even hip-hop culture in general. He is also the host and organizer of the ROBEAT Award, now being the South German Beatbox Championship, with the first edition being held in 2012. Oh, and on top of that, he's also an European champion, participated in multiple world championships, is a 2-time national champion, and was a judge at the last World Championships in 2023, this year. He also participated in the GBB 2013 at a time where GBB was still underground. I mean, practically no one remembers anything past GBB 2015, but that's another story. Genesis Cerezo, or just Genesis for short, a 2011 national champion from Sydney, Australia, competed on the season 6 of Australia's Got Talent in 2012. Being introduced as a 19-year-old barista and retail worker who wants to make beatboxing his main pursuit, being a national champion, he obviously made a pretty solid appearance in his audition, even claiming that he is the best beatboxer in Australia, which is a bold statement, after being asked if he is just average or special. He got 3 green buzzers and was voted in the next round, which was the semi-finals. Being the 4th to perform, he easily impressed the judges again with his talent covering popular songs with his beatboxing, and immediately got voted into the finals by the judges. There he also, yet again, wow, impressed everyone, being voted into the grand final round, which is different from the finale. In the grand final he fell short, a bit, or let's just say by a good margin. Needless to say, he left a mark and definitely was an important figure in Australian beatbox community, even making a comeback at battling a couple of years later. Unfortunately, the videos of that were deleted for good reason, because basically he's in jail. Charged with 31 offenses, and yes, you heard that correctly, 31 offenses, which includes 3 counts of using a child over 14 to make child abuse material, 1 count of aggravated sexual assault of a child under 16, and 4 counts of having sexual intercourse with a 15-year-old. There's much more to the story. Check out the linked article in the description down below for that if you want to find out more about it. He ultimately was convicted and found guilty, which is a sad but honestly also quite disgusting ending to the story, to what could have been a really great story of how a young beatboxer trying to make it big makes a career out of beatboxing. Well, song conclusion, as a beatboxer, Got Talent can really make your career, unless you decide to break it yourself. I'm looking at you, Genesis. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did so, please make sure to leave some love, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. But with that being said, I'm hoping to see you guys in the next video again. Cheers!